office and for connected purposes. Order number 11, the Disaster Risk Management Bill, Senate Bills number 14 of 2021, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to establish the National Disaster Management Authority and County Disaster Risk Management Committees to provide a legal framework for the coordination of disaster risk management activities and for connected purposes. Order number 12, the Law of Succession Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 15 of 2021, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Law of Succession Act and for connected purposes.
What's your point of order?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Speaker, I raised a point of order earlier to you, and I didn't hear your response to it with reference to the court order that was served to your office, because it will be important for this House to know whether you received it or you did not, and whether when you received it, it's also important just for record purposes to know the reasons why you have chosen to disregard a valid court order, Mr. Speaker.
I have not received the court order so far. What I'm saying is what I used is the information from the legal team, which arrived at that decision to give the information that was required under Article 56. That's what I've said, 56A. So far I've not seen it yet. What's your point of order? Relog in.
Oh, okay, sorry. I don't think is it on? Sasa inafanya? Oh, okay, okay. Okay, sorry. I don't know how we are even going to have this session, Mr. Speaker, sir, because we even saw others online who cannot seem to get through. But anyway, a big point of concern, which I think should be addressed before we proceed, is that Senator Mwaura had a pre-existing court order that was before today that had been served to your office. But I believe we are bringing in a copy here in the next few minutes. So I would ask that we don't proceed until the issue is determined.
What's your point of order?
Point of order.
Just a minute. There's a point of order from Pareno. Yes, Senator Pareno.
Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that we have to discuss probably what has happened to Senator Mwaura. But I was just wondering, Mr. Speaker, whether, because I heard you make a communication and you made a ruling, whether whether Senator Kihika is in order to be asking for another ruling on that when you've already made your ruling. Of course, not saying that we are not concerned with what has happened to Senator Mwaura, but the orders of this House must also be observed.
Just a minute. My system order. Okay, what's your point of order, Senator?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me first to declare my interest in this issue. Senator Mwaura happens to be my best man in my wedding, and therefore it goes without saying I need to be heard on this issue. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm interested in maybe you give us guidance on how you came up into that communication, taking into account that there is an existing court order. There are several steps that have to predicate your decision before you render that decision. Mr. Speaker, sir, I expect you, maybe you consider tabling before us the correspondence from IEBC, Mr. Speaker, sir, the correspondence from the tribunal, Mr. Speaker, sir. Also, an explanation as to why a valid court order has been disregarded by the political party, by IEBC, by Senate, to my personal friend. He is no longer a member of the Honorable Senate. And to me, if we allow your communication to stand, Mr. Speaker, sir, we shall be sending a very dangerous precedent in this House, Mr. Speaker, sir. It will be you, Honorable Senator, next time. It will be me next time, where the executive is using its power to deny and to de-whip and to denominate our fellow colleague. I urge Honorable Senators, please, let us rise and stamp the authority on behalf of Senator Mwaura. It is now he needs us. It is you next time you'll be in the same predicament, notwithstanding our political differences. Please, Honorable Senators, let us stand for our colleague. Thank you.
Senator Murkomen. It's not working. Just a minute, the system is... I was calling Senator Murkomen, not you. Virtual. Unmute yourself.
Mr. Speaker, I'm unmuted.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a matter of fact, I've been raising this point of order for some time now. First of all, the issue of Senator Mwaura, Mr. Speaker, it will be unfortunate if you are going to disregard an existing court order that is from the High Court, that, Mr. Speaker, was provided by the High Court to preserve the rights of Honorable Mwaura, and the order exists up to 20th of May, Mr. Speaker. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I would expect that you would handle differently a matter that involves removal of a fellow senator. Mr. Speaker, why would you be so much in a hurry without the proper decision of the courts to remove someone, Mr. Speaker, who has been elected? And let's stop these stories of nominated senators. There's no difference between those who are elected through party list and those who are elected by votes like ourselves. The Constitution treats all of us equally. Mr. Speaker, why would you want to be in such a hurry to degazette a colleague when, Mr. Speaker, a legal process is ongoing? When a similar process in the National Assembly of through the whole process up to now, the Court of... Mr. Speaker, I really beg you, there would be other grounds of expediting processes like our removal, which happened this day or 1 year ago, and we are still waiting your ruling. But, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to complete removal of a member from Parliament, not positions from Parliament, Mr. Speaker, you should have acted in such a hurry. Especially you are acting against an existing order of High Court, Mr. Speaker, that is in place up to 20th of May. I believe you should, the staff, Mr. Speaker, the clerks and your office should have given you a different advice. I can see you are extending that blame to somebody else, but the decision is yours. And Mr. Speaker, before taking that decision, You should have spent time to consult, Mr. Speaker, the relevant documentation. It will be sad if, as a Senate, you become the first speaker under the new constitution to violate the constitution by removing a colleague. I urge you, Mr. Speaker, to reconsider that stand.
Wait, is there voting going on?
Senator, Professor Kindiki.
Mr. Speaker, sir, with tremendous respect, I request you to make your own decision. And there is nothing inferior or nothing untoward if you considered or reconsidered your own decision, Mr. Speaker. In the matter of Senator Isaac Mwaura, Mr. Speaker, this is the first time in the history of Kenya when a member of the House has lost office through this process. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I know arguments have been made about the court order. I concur with those arguments, except to say that this is the only area where I concur with courts injuncting parliament, because I've already made my positions clear on injunctions and the two arms of government, the legislature and the executive. I have always argued, Mr. Speaker, in the past, in the present, and in the future, that the judiciary cannot inject parliament in its legislative role. But in quasi-judicial or administrative roles, injunctions are quite legal. So, Mr. Speaker, if there's a court order, it needs to be complied with. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I see no hurry in chasing you away a colleague, because you are the Speaker of this House. So Senator Mwaura is our colleague, is your colleague. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to go on record that this is a travesty of justice, whatever decision you take. And I hope the people of Kenya are taking notice of how we are observing the constitution that they passed. And if we are disregarding this constitution, nothing will prevent us from even undermining the amendments that we are considering this afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg you respectively to reconsider your decision.
Senator Cherargei.